Hi everybody, it's Monday evening again. Welcome back to another week of meals on the family seesaw. I promised you a few more kind of recipe driven proper meals as opposed to using lots of shortcuts this week. So I've started the week with chicken tacos, lime chicken tacos. So this started life this morning as a package of frozen chicken breast. I just put it in the crock pot with the juice from a lime, so one lime, two if they're slightly smaller. Mine was quite big, so juice from one lime, and a really good sprinkling of chili powder, sort of to taste for your family really, but a good sprinkle of chili powder. I then left that all day in the crock pot. When I came home, I just opened up the pot and shredded up the chicken, and that kind of mixed the lime juice and the chili powder all in with the shredded chicken. As it was frozen chicken, quite a lot of juice came out, so it was quite moist and tender as well. You could use fresh chicken breast and you wouldn't need to add any additional liquid to it though. And then I stirred through a good handful of frozen corn and a small jar of salsa. So we've got the hot salsa, but obviously again whatever is to your family's taste. And I just left it for about another half an hour in the crock pot. Now this filling, or this chicken, makes a great topping for if you wanted to have like a taco style salad. It makes a great filling for wraps, for like tacos or just tortilla wraps with a filling. Makes a good topping for a jacket potato. It makes a good topping for nachos with some melted cheese on the top. So there's really a lot of things you can do with this, but it really is that simple. A package of frozen chicken breasts, a sprinkling of lime juice, a good sprinkling of chili powder, let it cook all day, shred up the chicken, add in some frozen corn and a jar of salsa, and you're ready to go. So we're having this tonight in some tortillas. Caleb's already got his, so just some regular tortilla wraps. I've also got some iceberg lettuce, some cheese. I have got some chopped tomato as well over here, some sour cream, and I've got the garlic and herb topping as well. But you could really top this with anything. I quite like this with avocado. I don't have any in at the moment, but I quite like it with avocado chopped up in it as well. Certainly a great topping on top of like tortilla chips to have either as a, if you added lettuce and tomato and cucumber and things, it could make a good taco salad, or just as like a nacho style dish. So a really simple dish to start the week for us. It's Monday and we're having lime chicken tacos. So for Tuesday evening, we've got Parmesan Toped Cod with new potatoes and some salad. So this again is a very quick and simple weeknight meal that looks a bit fancy. It's a little bit of a move up on having, breaded fish or battered fish, or a piece of salmon or something. So I had in the freezer a pack of frozen cod fillets, but you could use any kind of firm white fish. So you could use pollock, you could use haddock, so any kind of reasonably firm white fish. You could have it fresh, you could have frozen. I defrosted it, so the frozen fish always recommends cooking from frozen, but I did defrost it because I wanted to put the topping on it. And then for the topping, this is some mayonnaise mixed with a really good handful of grated Parmesan, 2 chopped spring onions, and then just a sprinkle of Worcestershire sauce. You mix that all together, you spread it across the top of the cod in a baking pan, and then you put it in the oven, roast it in the oven about 200 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until the cod kind of flakes apart when you test it with a fork. The new potatoes or baby potatoes, I just cooked them, added some butter and some black pepper, and then just shook them to sort of smash them a little bit. So I didn't want to mash them, obviously, they're new potatoes, but they kind of just started to crumble a little bit and go a little bit softer. So it's kind of smashed new potatoes, I guess. And then we've got some lettuce, cucumber, and some baby plum tomatoes. So really quite a healthy meal. I have used a light mayonnaise. You could use regular mayonnaise. You could also use something like a light creme fraiche or a light sour cream or something like that instead if you don't like mayonnaise. But with the flavourings in it, it doesn't really taste like mayo at all, with plenty of Parmesan, some spring onion and some Worcestershire sauce. So Tuesday night we've got Parmesan topped cod with smashed new potatoes and some salad. Hi everybody, it's Wednesday evening and tonight we've got a really simple one pot pork and pasta dish. So this started life as a package of the pork loin steaks. I got the medallion style ones, they're a little bit thicker. Cut them into slices, drop them into a plastic container with a couple of spoons of flour, some chili powder, some garlic powder and a little bit of salt and pepper. Shook that all together to get the pork coated in the flour, the seasoned flour mixture. Then I heated a little bit of oil and a little bit of butter, a half and half of oil and butter in my large pot. I'll show you over here, that pot. And then put the pork in there along with a chopped onion, a diced up red pepper and some sliced mushrooms. Cooked that all together for about 5 or 6 minutes, just until it was kind of the pork was nicely browned. I shook in some oregano as well. You could use mixed herbs for that. I just fancied using oregano. And then I added, and bear with me here, 3 cups of milk. So if you've got like a Pyrex pint jug, it's about one of those and a half or one again of milk. A carton of passata. And then if you're using a Pyrex jug again, if you fill it to the top with pasta, like we used penne. So if you're using penne or fusilli or the small shells, that would be about the right amount. Pour that all in, bring it up to a boil, leave it to simmer uncovered as if you were cooking pasta normally, and cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes until the pasta is cooked through. So you've got all the vegetables, you've got a delicious creamy tomato sauce from the passata with the milk. Sounds odd, but the flavours all come through with the milk and it just makes a nice creamy sauce. I use semi-skimmed milk, you could use whole milk. I've never tried it with skimmed, but actually you probably could make it with skimmed milk. And then I've got a little bit of the kind of pretend Parmesan, the grana padano. I'm just going to grate some of that over the top. But really kind of wholesome. It's got lots of veggies in it. And the pieces of pork and the pasta. Really filling meal for a midweek supper. So it's a pork and pasta one pot. Hi everybody, so it's Thursday evening and we're having Brinnet again tonight. We did have it at the weekend, but I wanted something quick and easy tonight. It's been sports day at school this afternoon. Caleb had a great day, ran his races and won by a country mile really. One thing he's really always been good at, have a natural ability for, is running, and really a long way ahead of anybody else in the class. So he really loves sports day. Of course, these days we can't share video clips or anything of anything at school, otherwise I would share it with you, but he had a great day. So I've got some scramble with mushrooms and cheese, a couple of rashers of bacon, medallions, and some of the potatoes that I just dice up and do in the actor fryer with some seasoning, and some baked beans. This is Caleb's. He wanted an omelette tonight, so he's got in here some cheese and ham in an omelette with some bacon and some potatoes. And Tony's got cheese and ham omelette, and then he'll add all the rest of the food onto his plate before he eats. So quick and easy dinner for a Thursday night after sports day. I've got to head out this evening for a meeting shortly, so this will be a quick dinner, and then we'll be looking forward to getting into another weekend. Friday again tomorrow. I can't really believe that. The weeks are just flying by. But anyway, we're off to enjoy our Thursday night dinner. Hi everybody, so it's Friday evening and tonight we're having another dish from my American days, living in the deep south in the US, or the southwest of the US. So this is something we call upside down pizza. So in the bottom of this baking dish I used a carton of mince. I've happened to use pork, but you could use beef, turkey, whatever you like really. Cooked it with an onion till it was browned, and then I added a jar of pasta sauce. So whatever again your favourite is, you could use a basic bolognese. This one's got some chili in it. You could use one with lots of veggies in it. You could also add other vegetables if you wanted to, but this we're all eating tonight, so I haven't added other chopped vegetables in. Once it's all cooked through and heated through properly, you put it into a large casserole dish and you cover it with mozzarella, grated mozzarella cheese. Then over here in my blender pot, I've got a mixture which is a cup of milk, a cup of plain flour, 2 eggs, just a teaspoon of vegetable oil and a pinch of salt. And that blends together to make kind of a batter. Now the batter's going to get poured over the top of the meat mixture. It's going to bake at 200 degrees for about half an hour. And then you don't turn it upside down, but essentially you've got a crust on the top, then your cheese, and then your kind of meat and vegetables and sauce. So it's upside down pizza. And it is pretty tasty. If your kids like pizza, this might be a good one to try with them. We're going to have it with some salad this evening, but it's a bit of a mixture of kind of pasta bolognese without the pasta, pizza without the pizza. So it's a bit of a mixture of those sort of kid favourites. So it is still a Friday night fake away, but I'll come back and show you how it turns out. Okay, so it's all finished baking, and the one thing I remembered as I was kind of pouring the batter over is essentially what you've got is a Yorkshire pudding batter. Don't really have Yorkshire pudding in the States unless you're eating like something in a traditional British type pub, and you might have roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. It's not a common dish in the States, so they wouldn't associate it with that, but certainly that is the sort of batter that you've made. You've got milk, eggs, flour, a little bit of salt. So what you essentially get, as you can see here, is there's the meat sauce, there's a layer of cheese under that, and then this kind of Yorkshire puddingy batter on the top, which when you dish it out, you just flip it over. We've got some salad with mine. Here's the rest of it in the pan. You can see there were a couple of little holes in my batter as I poured it over, so it made little spouty holes. But you've got the batter, which just goes into a nice kind of crispy on the top, a little bit softer underneath Yorkshire pudding batter. I baked it for just over 30 minutes at 200 degrees. So, yep, that's our Friday night supper. Upside down pizza or Yorkshire pudding pizza or whatever you want to call it, with some salad. Hi everybody, Saturday night, and for tea tonight we've got a bit of a change from our plan. These are El Paso style enchiladas. So as you know, when they usually make enchiladas, we use shredded chicken mixed with some enchilada sauce, either jarred or homemade, a little bit of cheese, some peppers and onions, some jalapeno pepper and onion, roll it up in the tortillas, more sauce and cheese. These are done slightly differently in that you make a meat sauce a bit like a chili. So this was a pack of ground turkey in our case, with a chopped onion, some chopped jalapenos, a can of chopped tomatoes, a couple of good squeezes of tomato puree, 3 or 4 teaspoons of chili powder, a little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of water to thin it out. Cooked that all together until it was well cooked, and then wrapped that into the tortillas along with a little sprinkling of cheese. Then the rest of the meat sauce was poured over the top with again some cheese sprinkled over that. I covered it with foil, baked it for about 20 minutes at 180, then took the foil off and cooked it for about another 5 minutes just to let the cheese on the top get bubbly. But that's our kind of El Paso style. So it's like tortillas filled with a chili mixture as opposed to shredded meat. But really looking forward to this for our Saturday night supper. Hi everybody, Sunday evening, and tonight we're having a traditional roast. So we've got a small pork loin joint that just roasted with a bit of crackling on the top, some mashed potatoes and steamed veggies. So that's mine and that's Caleb's. We've got applesauce and mint sauce. Caleb doesn't like applesauce, but he does like mint sauce with a roast dinner, which is quite funny because when I was a little girl I had mint sauce with everything. My dad said I couldn't eat a meal unless it had mint sauce or tomato ketchup on it. So absolutely follows in my footsteps there with the mint sauce. So anyway, we're off to enjoy a Sunday night dinner. Thank you for joining us for another Meals of the Week, and we'll see you back on the seesaw soon.